Moikka moi! And good evening in English tonight. Let's first do the things that if I can see myself and also thus see the comments. Yes, there we are. And then let's add a couple of links to the chat. First to the blog post announcing the live, which is then where all the links are. And then I'm also adding another link to the chat for a YouTube video of mine where I do these. So the gel printed tissue paper I'm using to decorate this one. So I'm not, hey baby. So I'm not doing the gel printing this time, but I'm using these tissue papers I have. And mainly in English this time. If you have any questions in Finnish, please just leave them to the chat, so I'll go through them with the two languages. A quick word in Finnish also. Elikkä siis heippa hei, hyvää iltaa. Jos on jotain kysymyksiä, niin suomeksi pysyy totta kai kysymään niin kuin aina. Vastailen sitten kummallakin kielellä, mutta pääasiallisesti tänään englanniksi mennään. Nyt tää live, kun eilen oli suomeksi. So this is something we are doing today. A little mixed media embellishment, kind of angel or fairy. It could be both. For that I have these wooden bases that, well, I'm going to decorate. Let's move her a bit to the side for now. And for that I'm using these, so gel printed tissue papers. And I put a link to the process video for another project where I do these gel prints. So if you want to watch how I made these. Nothing too complicated, just using different stencils and paint colors on top of gel plate, brayering colors and picking them up, making some different papers. I'm first adding some stamping to these to add a little bit of contrast. I have two stamps. The other one is this kind of text version that goes nicely to a variety of different projects. So just a little bit here and there. And the other one is then some numbers. Another good one to go with. Oops, now it's upside down. Not that it matters, but still, let's flip it. Just a touch of contrast. I was thinking of doing two, so maybe this one and another sheet. So I have a sheet for each of the fairies or angels, depending which one you want to see in them. Winged characters. So if you're just joining in, hello, good evening. I'm just starting here with the little alternate mixed media decorations. And if you can't stay for longer, I know there's at least one other Facebook Live going on at the moment, then the recording will be upload it to my YouTube later in the week. So 2 sheets now ready and stamped, a little bit more contrast in them. Then we have the wooden shapes, and we have some collage medium, a gel medium, or decoupage glue. This is matte version, which I like to use, but it doesn't have to be this brand. Then let's give the shape a quick coat. This is quite fast drying as it's acrylic based and an absorbing surface as it's wood, so need to move quite quickly this time. First the other one and then the other. Just a layer here. Make sure the head is still wet as well. And then I want this one to be visible, so hoping I get it right. Looks good. Yeah. And then I'll add another layer on top. Kind of sandwich the tissue paper between 2 layers, so it will be then nice and tight and solid here. You might be wondering why as a huge piece. You could trim the excess off beforehand. Both ways go. I just did this angel like this, so I'm continuing with this one. So when I have, no, it's not thoroughly stuck there, but we can still work around. And then I'm going to cut the excess off. The other option is to let this one dry thoroughly as it is, and then use a wet brush to go around kind of the shape of the winged character, and then tear the wet paper because it's at its most brittle when it's wet. So that's another option. Or if you want, you can also, of course, kind of go around the edge. So maybe cut some kind of little, well, just cut some slits, let's say, and then go around the edge, like folding it around the edge to the other side. Oops, it's almost left there. Now the harder parts there. Probably, yeah, I could just tear the excess. And then these little pieces, there's some extra there. Let's get that away also. Extra there. The other option would be also just to make the shape out of smaller pieces, more kind of fitted to the shape. So tearing the bigger tissue paper, decorated tissue paper to little bits, or cutting it and then collaging the bits, because then it's easier to go around the edge or the shape. just needing a little bit more to the wings. It seems that it wasn't thoroughly stuck there, so we just add a little bit more collage medium there. And kind of fold the excess also. Here's another little place that needs some extra, so let's add it there. Oh, and there as well. Fold it. Now, better. Seems here as well. Let's secure it nicely. There we go. Now that one can be there for a while I add this layer to the other one as well. So first, just a layer of gel to the wooden shape, and then the tissue paper on top. If it's a bigger shape, a larger area to cover, of course you can do it in segments as well. Apply the gel to part of the shape and then add more later on, whatever is the best way for you. Or you could use tissue paper, to napkins, like patterned napkins, if you don't have patterned tissue paper or don't want to do that, so that's another option. Then another shape here. Let's now cut it and then add the other layer after it's a little bit more fitted to the shape. I'm only covering the other side. You could do the both if you would like to have it double-sided, but I just did the other one. A little bit of cutting, a little bit of tearing, whatever makes the fastest version for this one. Of course, if you have a craft knife and you are handy with it, so that's another option, because scissors are always a little bit, well, hindered to the other side. It's easier to cut to the other than the other. There's kind of extra then. Oops, now I tore it. It's okay-ish. We can work with that, even though there's a little torn edge there. Here we go. Hello, welcome. We are kind of just starting with the angels or fairies, winged creatures. Just adding the first layer of tissue paper here. Please let me know if there's any questions. And then the other layer. Kind of sandwiching the tissue paper between the layers, so it's then secured. Tissue paper is also so delicate that it's kind of going through the soft thin paper when I'm adding the other layer as well. Kind of a lacquer layer in a way. Just come on, stick there. Now, here and there, with a somewhat big flat brush, so I get this done quite speedily. So now let's put this one aside and see if the other one is already dried enough for the next layer. It might be. It needs to be a little bit sticky still. So we can, whoops, add these on top. Let's just try. Yeah, they are mostly sticking, so that's good. Need to be a bit careful now, because these will go everywhere if I let them. So these are thin little metal flakes. I'm using vintage color, which is a combination of like these copper tones and gold ones. But again, whatever color goes. Whoops, that's a huge one. Don't want that huge part here, just more like these little flakes. So it's not covering the whole thing, but gives a little bit of metallic shine and glimmer to the whole thing. The other one is a little bit too wet still, so it's harder for me to apply the gold leaf or metal leaf. You want it to be sticky but not wet, because if it's too wet, then the metal won't kind of grab into it, but it's just flowing on top, moving, and then you might get some of the matte medium on top of the shiny metal, and then of course it's not that shiny anymore. So if it's a bit dry, not too dry of course, then it's easier to add this layer. It seems I'm going overboard with this one. There's quite a lot of metal, whereas there's just hints in that one. So maybe I'll just close the lid, so that's enough for them now. Let me show you this one, the ready version. So they are these shiny details in the ready fairy or angel. Now let's dry these. So because I'm next adding a stenciled layer on top, I don't want anything from these layers to get stuck to the stencil, but they want to be here. So I'll give them a quick dry. Hopefully it's dry enough. Seems so. Let's check the other one. Heipä hei Karita! Jos on siis kysymyksiä, niin suomeksikin voi kysyä. Ja et ole kauheasti myöhässä. Ensimmäisiä kerroksia täällä vasta. If you're joining, we are just doing the kind of first layers. First, we collaged, adhered the ready gel printed tissue paper there, and then added some metallic flakes on top while the collage medium was still wet. And what I'm now doing is getting rid of the little golden flakes, at least some of them, from the work table, and I'm seeing that there's a little bit of extra there. Come on, now. Then stencil. I thought this sunburst version would be nice for the golden glittery creatures. So I'm placing it so that I'll get the sunburst only to the kind of head and the wings. You could do the opposite, of course. Do it just to the hem or whatever way you want, but I thought it would be funny to be just there. And what I'm using to give it this a little bit of extra glimmery dimensional shine is this jewel effect paste, which is a glittery effect paste. If you don't have this one, then just add a lot of glitter to glossy gel medium base, so you get something similar. I'm using a palette knife to get the paste through because this is quite sturdy paste, and also I want this raised layer, so this combo works nicely. Here we go. Let's put that one over there for a while and then work with the other one. Again, the same orientation. I'm a creature of habit, so let's make the same thing. Just adding the paste through the stencil, and as you probably can hear, it's quite gritty paste because of the glitter in there. So let's see if the second layer is as nice as the first one. Yeah, it's okay. Then again, I have a bucket of water underneath the table, so I'll put both the palette knife and the stencil in there so I can clean them later. Because if you leave such a sturdy, bulky paste to dry to the stencil, eventually it will ruin it because it will then kind of fill all the gaps, so better to clean them. Then of course the creature needs a little face, and for that I used these stickers. It could be just a photo, vintage photo for example, and it could be really fun, for example, if you have like a godchild and you want to do a little kind of what are they called, confirmation gift. So it would be his or hers photo. Just a thought to use that one, or somebody from the family. These are just, come on, ready vintage photos. I'm just pushing it in. It has a sticky back, it's a sticker, but also the paste is still wet, so that will secure it in place. And then another one. Let's do this one. A little bit different looking. I wanted just kind of the head to be from the photo, but of course if it's a bigger photo, for example, you could use a whole bubble kind of or circular version. I just thought that it would be fun to have kind of a halo looking form like so. If the glitter paste would be all dried before adding this one, of course you can add some craft glue to keep the face in place. Then I'll make, where's the thingy here? A little hole to the hem at this stage. Crocodile is sturdy enough to handle even the wood. So I can make a little hole, and that's optional. Again, it's for the dangly little bit here, but I thought it would be fun. So just there. If it seems that it's hard to get through, then wet the wood. Usually that helps. And also, if you don't like these little stick things forming, then wetting the wood might be the answer. Yes, these are ready-made bases, eli karta on siis valmiita tämmöisiä puumuotoja, mitkä on nämä pohjat. They are from a local craft store. Sinellistä siis suomenkielisille. Then let's add some lace and buttons and a text strip. So it's kind of just then finishing touches. They could be just like this, or you could add something much like grungier, let's say, on top. It doesn't have to be this delicate, for example. You can just use your imagination, what would fit your project the best. Let's use that one. So I'm putting some glue here and leaving a gap here when I'm then later adding the bead version, so I can kind of wiggle it through. The other option would be to put all the decorations first and then just as a last touch to make the hole. But especially if you're using a really heavy bulky lace, like a cotton lace, that might be a little bit tricky to get the hole through, even though that crocodile usually does the thing, but maybe it's a little bit easier to make it like this. Just using craft glue to adhere the lace in place. And if you would like to have the angel looking nice on both sides, you could now put a little ribbon, for example, there to kind of finish the edge so it doesn't look that silly on the other side. But on this side it looks really nice, at least I think so. Then let's put maybe a little line of roses for her, and what will be good to him. I mean, this is huge, but I could just cut the edge. But I would like to have something let's put that one this way. Yeah, that's okay. This is kind of just playing. They could be just with colorful ribbons as well. They don't have to be just lace. I just thought that they are really nice and delicate for these. But I'm not feeling any of these for the hem. What about this one? Maybe this one. Maybe I'll just kind of cut it a little bit more narrow and let's see how that then feels. If it would be okay. Go. Let's move these to the side already. What if I put it on this side? Yeah. I'm now concentrating to the lace. So totally quiet. Don't get alarmed. Just a little bit more. Teeny tiny creases, or what are these called? So it will go nicely around the round edge. Come on, here we go. And then the excess off from the, whoops. Don't want that kind of corner there, just more like a straight edge. Yeah. Now, then a couple of buttons, and then the words, and then we'll be done. I only made one dangly dingly bit, so I'm going to add it to either of them or one of them and then make another one afterwards and finish. I'm not seeing the buttons there. Maybe I'll put them here to the hem. I need one more white one, I think. These are just vintage buttons. I have a bunch of them. They could be all different colors, but these are kind of now making the trio as a set because there's the same buttons repeating. Although if you use the same colors in the gel printing, of course they tie everything together. But these are kind of just really easy decorations. As the base is ready, you then just need some little things to decorate it. And if you have light wood base like these were, so a colored tissue paper is a good start, because then you get the colors and some of the wood is still kind of peeking through the layer. So you don't have to first give it a solid coat of paint, for example, but this is another way of starting and getting those done. For the words, I actually use this one, Christmas stickers, but it's really handy with these little kind of sayings, and I use it all year long. I think this might be one of my favorite ones, because somehow these text then spark my imagination. let's go with this one, and all you smiling merry folks. I think I'll be putting it here. And then something for him. Let's see. Not stockings. The candles glimmer. Yeah, that could be it. Christmas miracle, maybe not. It's July. Shone with such a brilliant glow. Yes, let's go with that. Yeah, I'll put it here. And then just this bit. Let's see if I can get it to this one. I'm thinking that maybe, oopsie daisy, I can get the ring through that piece of lace. Or is this still too short? Nope. It will go nicely. Then just the end. Let's put this bigger one here. And close the jewelry ring. Again, this is just an optional part. If you don't have jewelry supplies, no need to get them for these, or then you can use or repurpose an old piece of jewelry and just use maybe thread or something else to get it dangling there, or just thread some beads. They don't have to be done with these jump rings and whatever these are called, these pins in English. Should have checked before I started the live, because I know what they are called in Finnish but not in English. Just closing the jump rings. Then where did I put the one ring there? If you're new to jewelry making, I find it personally really handy to have pliers on each hand, but you can go nicely with just one if you're starting. But I find it quite easy to have one each hand. So here we go, and she'll be getting a jewelry pendant of her own afterwards. Then it's just twine to make the embellishment hang, and for this one I added a little bead there as well to make it more like part of the project. So the same beads that are here, then one here, so kind of making it a whole thing. But that's actually it. They are done. Really easy. Do you have any questions? I'll take a sip of water at this stage. It seems, at least not right now, but if you have any questions, then leave them to the chat. I'll go through the chat a little bit later when I have cleaned these off. And if you're watching the recording, of course you can still ask questions. If I don't answer in, let's say, 1 or 2 days, then tag me, because Facebook is acting out and sometimes I don't get notifications of those. But thank you so much for joining. I hope you find these little winged characters inspiring, or of course you can use the techniques to any shape. It could be as heart, or it could be a horse, or it could be a flower. The same process, of course, goes. So, depending where you are, have a great evening or day or morning. And I'll be seeing you next month with another live. Then again, just in English, and after 2 months or month between, then it's again Finnish version. If you have any hopes or wishes, so just leave me a comment, so I'll get then my thinking cap on. Eli kiitoksia, kun tulitte. Niin. Jos on jotain kysyttävää, niin jättäkää vaan tuohon. Ja jos on ideoita, että mitä levässä tehtäisiin, niin niitäkin otan mielelläni vastaan, että tulee sitten sellaista, mikä olisi hyödyllistä. Näitä on välillä niin kuin haastava keksiä, sanotaanko, että mitä voisi tehdä, mutta kyllä sieltä yleensä on jotain keksiä. Mutta kiitoksia siis. Thank you so much. Bye!